Hello, everyone. My guest today is Craig Caryl. He's a serial entrepreneur ranging from TV productions, Hasbro, robotics, medical devices, to now SaaS. SmartCSM is B2B SaaS, providing commercial property owners and facility managers in-depth visual of mechanical infrastructure like HVAC, plumbing, and such. Deployed by Toyota, United Airlines, Salvation Army, and more to save time, money, and lives. Craig, you ready to take us to the top?
Let's go.
All right, man. Tell us about the company. What does it do? What did I miss? And are you a pure play SaaS company?
We are a pure play SaaS company with a secondary services business to get the information and the data into the SaaS. But primarily, we're a big data play. Ultimately, we want to get the data on all the clients and understand what they're doing with their infrastructure. Mm-hmm. And the short answer to what it is it's the Google Maps of commercial infrastructure. Where does my HVAC go? Where's the VAV? How does it connect to the air handling unit? Where's the transformer for the electrical? There's some of these facilities are millions of square feet, tens or hundreds of locations, and you can have a handful of facility team members that are overseeing it all, and it becomes an impossibility to know every square inch of it. So we created a super easy point and click tool that anybody can learn in an hour, and it basically helps you define your entire electrical, plumbing, HVAC infrastructure.
Very interesting. And who is paying for this? Like the homeowner or the contractor or who?
So it's primarily a commercial tool, commercial application. So it's usually the facility manager or the building engineer. Secondarily, it's the owner. That's about 80% of the business. And then 20% of the business is through contractors who use it as a value add when they're completing a job and delivering part of the turnover process.
Yep.
And it's an interesting model because the contractors actually want to own the data because they want to own the client and ultimately freeze out their competition. So they'll actually absorb the cost of the software and maintaining it as a way of sort of choking out their competition.
No, that's interesting. So on average, what are one of these companies or contractors paying you per month for access to the technology?
I'd say the average contract value is about $1,000 a month.
Okay. So pretty, that's kind of like, I would put that kind of mid-market. Do you have a kind of a sales team built out to go land those, or can you land them kind of no touch via your website?
I wish it were that easy. We're really educating the market right now. It's a pretty new concept for the market. So it's for, smart sales guys on the phone, a couple of BDRs. So it's a team of 6 out there making calls, dialing for dollars. Advertising in general doesn't work. It's really touching them, understanding their specific problems, then backing them into how the SaaS will solve those problems.
Yeah. So what's the total team size today?
It's about 14.
Okay. Everyone based there in California?
12 are based in California. We have 2 subs that work abroad on our engineering team, but we're actually bringing that engineering team in-house as we go to Series A, probably end of this year, early next year.
Oh, very good. Now, are you bootstrapped to this point?
No, we've done a couple of venture capital rounds. We did a seed note round and then a seed plus priced round.
Okay. So how much total in the company so far?
We raised $3.5 million.
Okay. And why did you feel like you needed to do that? In other words, what made the company kind of expensive to get started? Why couldn't you bootstrap?
Well, SaaS is expensive. It's dollar for dollar. If you want to do 10 million annually, you're going to spend about 10 million to get there. That's been my understanding in studying the market before I got into it. Changing a market is never easy. This is a greenfield market that has been doing business on paper since Edison invented the light bulb. He basically invented the light bulb, wrote on a piece of paper where that circuit came from, and for all practical purposes, it hasn't changed.
Yep.
So we're trying to change the market, bring a laggard market into a digital solution, and really what we are is a bridge from a sort of analog paper to digital BIoT or building Internet of Things. And so changing the way a market's worked for over 100 years is not easy. It takes money, it takes persistence. Constantly making the software better, changing and adapting to our clients' needs. It's
how long have you been at it? When did you launch?
We launched it mid 2017 in beta, and then January 2018 in sort of live. So about 2.5, 3 years.
Okay, and so over that time frame, how many customers are you now working with?
We have 52 customers,
okay,
but primarily large customers like Toyota, United Airlines, Salvation Army, the ones you mentioned. We just closed Carrier Corp and Goodyear.
Very cool. So, can I do the math on, you told me earlier the average is about $1,000 a month. You're doing about $52,000 a month right now?
Yeah, about that,
Okay.
roughly about high 40s, I think. Our ARR is about 460, 470.
400 right now. Yeah, that puts you about 40 grand a month. Where were you a year?
40, yeah, right now.
Yeah.
About 40.
Where were you about a year ago, just so we can understand growth?
We've doubled. We were about 22 a year ago. So we're about 8 to 10% month over month.
That's great. And where's most of that growth coming from? Upselling current customers or landing new logos altogether?
Primarily landing new logos. About 20% of it is upselling existing customers to expand. Like we have several cities that, like City of Manhattan Beach, started out with one building. They're up to 10 and 11 buildings. Cal State Dominguez Hills started out with one building. They're up to 10 buildings.
Is that your number one pricing lever, is number of buildings managed, or is it based off square feet or number of seats or something else?
It's not number of seats or the amount of assets. It's square footage primarily, and then secondarily buildings. But there's a lot of negotiating in that. It's all about getting them on. Once we get them on the platform, they don't leave.
Yeah. Well, because again, you're a data play. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So I just heard you say, now, can you count on an average of 20% cohort expansion on these accounts of the ones that signed up a year ago? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I would say that's a fair statement.
And on that same cohort, what does churn typically look like?
It's about 5% annually, 6% so far. I don't know that we have enough empirical data to give you a hard number, but that's a good ballpark.
Well, look, net, if you're churning 6 and expanding 20, right? Your net revenue retention, as I would call it, 114. Even if that's not exactly accurate and it's back in the napkin, that's still healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, how aggressive are you being in terms of driving the growth? Are you burning a bunch of capital today?
I don't know what's burning a bunch of capital.
You're in California. You're in California, so I'm used to hearing big numbers here.
No, I don't think on that level. No, we're not burning that much capital. I would say the toughest part is finding sales team members that can really understand the facility manager's plight and get into their pocketbook and close the deal. That's the toughest thing. We've had a high churn in the sales team.
Yeah.
Facility managers are being sort of barraged by janitorial service and security services, and so they're getting about 100 sales calls a day, and we're selling into that frenzy of feeding, so to speak. And these are people who traditionally their budgets are getting cut every year. They're asked to do more with less. So that's the environment we're selling into, and that's probably the biggest challenge is getting that 1 minute of their attention to really hook them. Once they understand what we're doing, they're pretty intrigued. They'll usually agree to a demo. Demo turns into a software demo, and at that point, we have about a 30% close ratio.
Yeah. And are you when you say not burning a lot, you're talking like 10 grand a month or 100 grand a month, or where are you about?
We're burning about 80 grand a month.
Okay, that's not too bad. So that leaves you with plenty of time to get to your Series A, you think?
Yeah, I think we have enough runway to get to our Series A. We may do a bridge round. We're exploring that, just to have a little extra capital in the bank. We're expanding the software quite a bit, so a lot of that money is really working on the software.
Yeah. What would a bridge round look like? Would you do a convertible note or venture debt or what?
We'd probably do venture debt. It would be somewhere in the $500,000 to $1 million range at the most, more like $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at a Series A in Q1 of 2020.
Okay.
Probably 4 to 5 million raised.
Yeah. And what do you hope? Obviously this is a negotiation, but if you raise $5 million in Q1 2020, what valuation do you hope to raise that at?
Well, our last valuation was a $5 million pre-money. We raised $1.5 million at 6.5 post. So, we'd hope to be at a 12 to 14, I would say, million valuation. Pre, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, good. You said last round was 6.5 post?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, that sounds generally fair. Now, the 500,000 potentially in venture debt you used to kind of, bridge over to the Series A. Do you have some term sheets there? What is the current state of venture debt?
We haven't been out in the market. We have a lot of attention on us right now. So there's no shortage of people who expressed interest, who didn't get into the last round. We're not at the point yet where we're ready to have serious discussions, but that's probably going to happen in September.
Yeah.
Probably do something September, October, November, and then look for a Series A like February 2020.
Interesting. Okay, last question here on economics. To get a new $1,000 a month customer, do you know what your fully weighted CAC is?
We don't. They're all different, and we're trying to identify that right now. It's tough because we're starting to get more into the service business of supplying boots on the ground. Because what we found is if we just sell them the software, that's where the churn comes in. If we just sell them the software, we have a much higher percentage of churn. If we get boots on the ground and we help them, get that initial data in, as we like to say, build the frame of the house so they can put the walls in and the specifics, we have a much lower rate of churn.
Yeah, you're talking about activation.
Yeah.
Yeah. You almost have to consider that activation in your fully weighted CAC number. So what's it cost you to actually get the folks kind of activated? I mean, do you generally think you're spending $12,000 to get a $1,000 a month customer or something like that?
Well, first of all, when we're doing what we call a TLC plan, it's a minimum of a 2-year commitment. So let's say on a $20,000 onboarding over 2 years, we're spending about $4,500 to get the data in.
Okay, so let me just repeat that back to you. You're spending about $4,500 to sign up a new customer that pays you $20,000 in year one, and you already committed them for another $20,000 in year two.
No, they're paying $10,000 a year for 2 years.
Okay, got it.
It's about 25% of the total revenue over 2 years.
Yeah, that's not bad. So that's like a 6-month payback period, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Very good. All right, let's wrap up here, Craig, with the famous 5. Number 1, what's your favorite business book?
I love spiritual books because I like to find calm and peace in. So I love Way of the Peaceful Warrior is one of my favorite spiritual books. I find that the chaos of life sometimes gets so hard, and I would say my other favorite book is the Book of Positive Quotations, because sometimes when you're just struggling with an answer and you need to sort of change your thought process, I can open up the Book of Positive Quotations and instantly find, a 1-minute quote that'll change my attitude.
I love that. This is like a guy in kind of the construction space who's very sensual. This is a good thing. A lot of people are going to like this, I think, Craig. You're going to be very popular. All right. Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
A CEO I'm following or studying? Gosh, I can't think of a specific CEO that I follow or study. I've got my face buried in this business from 5:30 in the morning to 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And then when I go home, my wife tells me to get more in touch with my feminine side. So
we'll skip that one then. What's the
CEO in my life is my wife.
There you go. What's your favorite online tool for building your company?
Oh, Expensify, just to easily keep track of everything.
Yep. David was on a couple episodes ago looking at potentially maybe going public here soon. We'll have to wait and see. Number 4, how many hours of sleep are you getting every night?
Oh, probably 4 to 5. Not enough.
And you mentioned you're married. Any kiddos?
I got one 10-year-old boy. I'm taking him for a little sailing trip tomorrow.
Oh, fun.
Sunset sail here in Southern Cal.
I love that. Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 52.
52. Last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
My 20-year-old self, buy real estate and hold on to it. Don't sell it.
Guys, SmartCSM, again, has just passed, call it $40,000 a month in revenue, up from $22,000 a month just a year ago. So 89% year-over-year growth rate, serving 52 customers at about $800 per month a pop. Again, helping construction teams, contractors, etc., really giving them the Google Maps for things like their HVAC, understanding where everything's going, how the thing is built. They raised $3.5 million, net burn about $80,000 per month. Plenty of runway to get to a Series A. The valuation in the last round was about $6.5 million pre-money, hoping to get up into the 12 to 14 million pre-money range on the Series A in Q1 2020. Team of 14, churning 6% annually, expansion 20%, so 114% net. Obviously healthy. They're spending $4,500 to get a new customer. Healthy 6-month payback period from Craig. Craig, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you for having me. Have a nice day.